Hi everyone, I'm George Jackson with GovExec TV. Today's 5 questions are with Matt Donovan, Senior Vice President and Government Lead at Merritt Group. Sir, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Let's kick things off with some of the biggest marketing, some of the biggest PR challenges facing your client bank in 2024. What are they?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of demand for capture-specific campaigns. So a lot of our clients are saying, we've got this huge opportunity coming up in 12 months, 18 months, and we need to reach a very targeted group of agency decision makers that are going to define success on this procurement. And we need to build a message. We need to take that message across the channels that reach them uniquely. And then we want to build a platform of engagement for them. So I would say that's primarily the biggest growth driver that we're seeing. Another type of campaign that we're seeing is talent acquisition. So we've got a lot of clients that say, we're winning a lot of contracts. We need people to do the work. And we need very specific skill sets in very specific geos to do that work. So we need a message to talent in those areas. We need to let them know we're here. We need to let them know about our culture, why they should join our team. So we're doing a lot of those campaigns as well, in addition to sort of our traditional awareness and perception campaigns, where a new tech company is coming on the scene and prioritizing the U.S. federal government for the first time. We got to let the market know who they are, what they do, why they should be trusted, what their value proposition is, all that good stuff. And then we have established players that might be known for something, and they want to be known for a new thing that's driving their business forward. So we want to create messaging and build a campaign that kind of repositions them and shows them in a different light.
Let's stay on that for a minute. I mean, message creation sounds like a theme that runs through a lot of those different areas. Any best practices for that marketing community around message creation?
Absolutely. It's the most fundamental thing that we do in marketing. Everything starts with the message. And what we see is you get a lot of companies that come onto the scene and they want to tell the world how great they are. Understandably, they're really proud of their solution. They're passionate about their company. They want to talk to you about their product. But the problem is they want to do that before the market knows who they are, knows if they can be trusted, knows even what they do. So we kind of ask our clients to take a step back, start with the agency pain point and the challenge, what's trying to be solved. If you can prove that you understand what that agency is trying to accomplish, you immediately get more credibility. Now, all of a sudden, they're more interested in hearing about what your product or solution might deliver. And I think one way we've been able to do that is get the BD and sales teams talking to marketing as early as possible. Those are the folks that are boots on the ground. They're talking to customers every day. They know what they're struggling with. It sounds simple, but it doesn't happen that often. Get those folks talking early. Align your messaging to what's really bothering the customers, what they're trying to achieve, and you're going to be set up for success a lot more than if you try to go it alone.
One thing I like talking to you about, Matt, is the new stuff, the exciting stuff. Walk me through some new approaches to bringing solutions to market right now, because it's tough to stand out amongst the noise.
It is. It's really difficult. It does start with that messaging piece that we've been talking about. One tactic that we've been doing for a lot of clients is partner playbooks and partner toolkits. So as you know, the partner ecosystem is so critical in this space, whether you're selling through the systems integrators or you're selling through OEMs. You not only have to let the end customer know what you do and what your value proposition is, but often you have to reach the partner community with those messages. So we've been putting together packages of collateral that not only can our clients take to partners and say, hey, this is what we do, this is why it matters, this is why it can help you in your business development process, but we also arm them with the messaging and what they need to actually take that message to the agency customer and say, we're partnering with these guys, they do this, and they can be a consistent messenger for our clients. The other thing that we've been seeing a lot is just the explosion of digital, where a lot of times there are brand campaigns where you have to reach a broad swath of the market, right? But especially for those capture campaigns that I talked about, where you're really targeting a very specific part of the market, maybe it's Fed Health, maybe it's a specific agency. Digital, think of like a platform like LinkedIn, allows you to get so targeted across agency, role, geographic area. So when you're taking a new product to market and you really have to get in front of those specific decision makers, digital platforms have really delivered a lot of ROI for us.
Man, we've covered a few of them during the course of this discussion. Capture specific campaigns, the explosion of digital. I don't want to date you too much, but this isn't your first rodeo, right?
That's true. That's true.
Over the past several years, what have you seen in the evolution of the B2G space around marketing?
Yeah. One thing that you're very familiar with is consolidation of media channels. So there has been a lot of consolidation of channels and partners, and that's good. There's probably less places to take some messages too. I think the other thing we've seen is a lot of things that used to be earned have now become part of paid. So I think paid has increased its importance in terms of thought leadership. So think of speaking at an industry event or appearing on a popular podcast. A lot of those things are part of sponsorship packages now, whereas maybe in the past they were, hey, pitch us on this SME or something like that. But I think maybe the biggest thing has been the right sizing of events. So pre-pandemic, all of our clients were like, we dropped 6 figures on this show because we've always done it and it's where we talk to customers and we need the big booth with the multiple staircases. And I think the pandemic really made people look at that spend and say, what is the ROI? Are we getting the ROI for our investment? Could those funds be used in other ways? Should we be doing something different at the show? Maybe we should be doing more thought leadership at the show. Maybe we should divert some of those funds to digital or virtual events or more intimate events. So I think that's the biggest thing is real events, physical events are still very important, but it's the where do they fit within your broader marketing budget? And some of our clients have taken a hard look at that.
You can't turn around in a room of B2G professionals these days without running into 2 words, Matt. Artificial intelligence. What about AI? We haven't talked about it.
Yeah. So we are in the testing and experimentation phase with AI. And I would say ChatGPT-4 to be completely specific.
Okay.
We are not using it for content creation. There are hallucinations, there's bias. I thought it was going to be a godsend for research. And when we started using it for research, we found that some of the information was dated, some of the information was inaccurate. Sometimes it can be a good starting point, but it obviously requires that double checking. Where we've really found value is using AI as like a collaboration creative partner. When you're working on messaging or ad copy, throwing in concepts, different terms, concepts that describe, different value propositions, almost like a buddy to bounce ideas off of. That's been really, really impressive in terms of what it can deliver when we're doing the creative part of our job.
Fascinating stuff. Matt Donovan, Senior Vice President and Government Lead at Merritt Group. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, George.
That was today's 5 questions. For GovExec TV, I'm George Jackson. Have a great day.